Hey, we are live. We are live both on Instagram and YouTube. If you are on Instagram, check out YouTube right now. Probably looks a little bit different. Comment in on either one because we're doing something a little different right now. And I want to make sure that it works because I've not done it yet. And I'm really hoping this works because this is going to bring a whole new experience to these live streams if it does. So as we're getting into this, if you'd like to work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you got to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing for women. And if you are on YouTube right now, we've got a few people on there. Just type in a comment and say hi. If you are on Instagram, maybe you've got Instagram and YouTube up at the same time, type in a comment, let me know, because it should look a little bit different on YouTube right now. And I want to make sure that it's working. What's up? Hello. There we go. Okay, now all the comments are coming in on YouTube. Awesome. Yay. Okay, so what's up, Jessica? What's up, Brittany, Jennifer, Susan, Lexi? I see all of you. So my question is, for those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, do you see our little logo up in the corner that says BSPN? Yeah, it looks fancy. All right. And my little name down at the bottom. Does anybody see it? Thank you. On the lighting, thank you. Lighting is the same. So go away the screen. So I now have a new streaming platform, which means I can share my screen with you guys. I can share my screen finally. So I've been working on this all day. I'm really hoping that it works. It's probably going to be a little bit bumpy at first until I get an idea of how it's supposed to move and work and roll and all those kinds of things. So yeah, it's going to be like a real show now. So I'm really hoping that this works. And I'm also hoping that once we get done, that it will actually save to YouTube and everything like that too. I'm not really sure because like I said, this is my first time going. So y'all are going with this with me. So I have it set up and ready to go. And I'm hoping everything goes according to how it's supposed to. But we'll just kind of learn with this together. But if it does work out, yay, because this is going to make life so much easier. I'm going to be able to share so much more with you, and it's going to be just fantastic. So I've been playing with it all day, but I haven't actually been able to go live yet. This is my first time going live on it. So hopefully it will work and we'll be good to go. So what we're going to do tonight is we are going to cover both a wrap-up of Chicago Pro, which Jessica's on here and she won, so congratulations. We will be talking about you, and if you can add in any kind of insight that you have on Chicago too, that would be great, because I know that they did have a live stream but I missed it, and I know that there's not a whole lot of video footage out there. It's just pictures and things like that. And we're going to go into Masters, Nationals, everything as well. So we're going to start with Masters, Nationals, and Worlds, and then move into Chicago at the end. And as you guys know, if you've been following along, Masters, Nationals was an incredibly long and trying weekend. And the reason why I wasn't able to tune into the live stream for Chicago is because we did lose one of our friends this weekend, Jerry Ward. So I just want to give prayers out to him, his family, his wife, everybody that's dealing with this loss right now, because he was a very big part of our community here in Northern Virginia. I used to go in and see him at the gym, and we would talk for hours, literally for hours, about everything. And he was just one of those people that if you knew him personally, nobody had anything bad to say about him. He was a really, really awesome person. He really tried to make a difference in the world. And he was one of the original OG YouTubers. For those of you that watched his YouTube channel, Bios 3 Training, I believe is what it was. He was one of the first. And it was a very emotionally tumultuous weekend. It was very difficult because one moment we were super excited for the girls that were competing, and the next moment we were super down because we just lost one of our friends. So again, prayers to his family and to his wife especially. And everybody that's dealing with this loss. It was a huge loss for our NPC and IPV community here. And I just wanted to give the thoughts and prayers that I could here. So with that, that happened on Saturday during prejudging for all of the ladies. But our ladies all did fantastic. If you guys haven't seen yet, we had 3 ladies win their pro cards on Saturday, Shantae, Corrine, and Melissa. So they now are all fully sponsored with me here at Sean's Couture Cuties, which means that they are sponsored for the lifetime of their career. So for those of you that are new to our brand, we do that. If you wear one of our suits and win your pro card, you do get a sponsorship for the remainder of your career as an athlete. So heartbreaking. He was so cool when I met him at DC Pro. Yes, he was doing, like, if you were at DC Pro last year, he was one of the commentators. We did interviews with all of the athletes. Jessica competed. We did interviews with all of the athletes at check-ins, and he was one of the ones up there. So, yeah, very, very big loss for our community here. So, Cutie showed up and showed out. Absolutely. Yes. So they all did fantastic. I wanted to give each of them a little bit of a shout out here. Shantae has been working with me for a few years now, and she is known for second place, missing her pro card by 1 spot. I don't even know how many times. So she finally got it this time around. And, I told her, I said, it's coming. You just have to keep showing up. You will get it. You just got to keep showing up. And she did. And she looked phenomenal. This was her best package to date, I believe. And she's now part of the Pro League. Corrine has been working with us for several years now too, coming to Cuties Conquering the Stage every single year. She was one of the ones that she took some time off in order to build some muscle, and man, did it do her some good, man. She won her pro card not once, but twice. She won it in 35 and over and 40 and over. So she did an amazing, amazing job. And then she turned around and made her pro debut the following day on Sunday as well, and actually placed 13th. And as we get into these Masters Pros, Masters Pro World Championship, it was a tough competition, you guys. Very, very tough competition. So, yes, especially Shantae, finally the bride. Yeah, she was always the bridesmaid. Absolutely. So, perseverance is the way to go. Absolutely. Sure is. Seeing Karina on the pro stage on Sunday was awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she does from here. And then Melissa Busta, this was actually only her 3rd show ever. She started her competitive career at Cuties Conquering the Stage this year. That was the first time she ever did anything with competing, like at all. It was at Cuties Conquering the Stage. She had never competed before, never stepped on stage before. And she got up and she won her very first show that she did. She won the overall. It was the Sid Gillen Classic just a few months ago. And she won the overall there. Then she went into Universe and placed top 5 in Universe. I think she was 3rd at Universe. Then she came in and she won her pro card here at Masters. So, man, talk about a shoot right up to the Pro League, right? So, congratulations to all 3 of them. Yes, so happy for the ladies. Absolutely. I'm looking back and forth at all the comments. I love seeing all the engagement, you guys. This is awesome. Yay. So, yeah, they did phenomenal. It was an amazing weekend. It was a very long weekend. Oh my goodness. I started hair and makeup at 3, which meant I was up at 2, and I didn't go to bed till after midnight. I was up for a total of 22 hours. So that was a very long day. And then I passed out like a rock. I was dead to the world, so you couldn't have woken me if you tried. And then we went into the pros the following day. So prior to the pros going on stage, I did help Corrine put together a pro routine, just basic pro routine for her to get on stage and show off what she worked on. And then they made them do just front, back, front anyways. So she didn't even need the pro routine. So it was okay. But again, she did fantastic that day. Angela, who is on our live stream right now, she did take 3rd in 15 over. And then we had Miriam, who also ended up in first call up for 15 over, ended up placing 6th in 15 over. And I do have some video of that. So before I get into talking more about that, let me see if I can do this whole screen share thing. Let's see if it's going to work. That's what I'm going to try and do right now. We'll see. Bear with me, guys. Like I said, this is my first time trying this. So hopefully it's going to work for us today. Let's go to our 15 over first call out. Let's see if we can do that. And I'm going to hit screen share on this. I think I can do that. There we go. Let me know, guys, in the comments if this is working as I do this. There's that. And we got to get back to that screen so I can play it for you. That's not it. Where am I going? There it is. Okay. Okay. So tell me in the comments if you can actually see this screen share. So, yay, awesome. I'm glad you guys can see. So see, I told you being on YouTube today was important because we have video. So what you are watching right now is the first call out for 15 over at Masters World. So it was a great show. It was a great show. So you can see these ladies, every one of these ladies here that you're seeing on the screen are over the age of 50. So yes, you made the switch right on time. Yes, absolutely. On my way to YouTube. Yeah, it's not on the IG. This streaming platform is only on YouTube. So you do have to be on YouTube for this. But this is your first call out. And it just crapped out of me. There we go. Okay, perfect. So if I can pause it somehow, let me pause and then go back. There we go. Okay, so this is your first call out right here. Now, forgive me if I pronounce names wrong and things like that. So America, I can't pronounce her name, but she is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal Masters athlete. She won both 15 over and 14 over, and that's who you're seeing right here in the center. Then we have this lady right here is who took second. And again, I don't know all the names. I'm going to flip over to NPC News pictures and everything too, so you can see them. But I did want to play the videos so you can see their call outs and stuff as well. She took second. Angela took third. Pamela took fourth, and then Claire took fifth, and then Miriam took sixth right here. So this is your first call out. And I've got another video of them as well. Let me get back here. Let me turn this off for a second and get back. 1 second. I'll pull up the other video. There it is. Pause it for a second and pull it back up. All right. And we'll play this one as well. So they're starting to move girls around here in this one right now. So you can see they're getting the two ladies in the middle to compare them for first call out, top two. The lady in red, again, I'm going to go to their photos as well, looked phenomenal. Like the second she walked on stage, I was like, holy crap, who's this? I've never seen her before, but she looked so good. I'm going to show you in the pictures shortly that I believe she was just a touch too lean, and that's why she ended up in that second place spot. I believe she might be brand new, but I think she was just a little bit shaky with her presentation. She kind of tripped over herself a little bit, and I think she was just nervous, but her physique is phenomenal. And I'm going to show you when I pull up the photos. I'm going to go into each of the top five just a little bit more so you can see. Now, the one thing that stands out about America over the top of everyone else is that she has that leanness, but she has that full pop to her glutes and to her front of her frame as well, which is really, really difficult to beat, especially once you get up into the Masters ages and things like that as well. She has a phenomenal frame. She has a phenomenal look, and she has that fullness to her muscle bellies as well, which does set her apart quite a bit. You better keep coming at us with these new and improved BSPNs. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, you can see here, Angela looks phenomenal over here on the side as well. She ended up in third place. Tan was a little bit light, as you can see, standing next to these other ladies. She's just a little bit lighter than the rest of them here. And then Pamela over here is a little bit too soft through the glutes, which you can see when she gets into her back pose in comparison to the other top three here. And then Miriam is just a little bit too hard in striations of the glutes in the back. But phenomenal look. Love this hair. Love this suit. Love the presentation that she's got here. And then Claire over here on the end, she needs some work on her posing. She's got a few posing errors going on here. I'd like to see her tweak some of those. Also, her tan was a little bit off as well. But those are the things that kind of set those girls apart and put them into the top here. So now I'm going to go over to the actual photos and show you in the photos what I was talking about. Now, actually, I have to stop the share because I've got to pull up a different tab in order to share that. Okay, so we're going to bring up Pull up Miriam first here. I'm going to pull up a front shot for Miriam since she wasn't that first call out. Let me get her up here. Okay, and then, sorry guys, give me just a second. I got to switch my tabs in order to share her. I'm going to go to Miriam right here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we got Miriam up. This is her front shot right here. Really beautifully balanced as far as her conditioning is concerned. Waistline was nice and tight. All of that. She can use a little bit more pop here on the glutes. Just a lot of this is fullness. We need to see a little bit more fullness through the legs and the glutes and everything right in here. Shoulders nice and round. Love that. Pose is great. All of that. Beautiful smile. Beautiful look. Her posing was flawless. I really gave her a lot of props on that. She executed her poses perfectly. Just need to see a little bit more fullness and roundness in through the quads and in through the glutes. She just needs more size. She just needs more fullness, more pop here. And then if we go, let me see if I can click through to get to her back shot. I might be able to do that here. Once we go to the Chicago, I know I won't be able to do that on the same page, but I might be able to do that here with her. Oh, almost. Let me get to her back shot for you guys. Okay, here's her back shot. I'm going to go to this one right here. Okay, we're going to share that. Okay, here's her back shot for you. Now, really well executed pose. Just needs to be fuller. You can see the striations here in her glutes a little bit too tight through the hamstrings right here. She just needs to fill out a little bit through this glute area. That'll give her more of a pop to the glutes, give her a better X frame and everything too, and make her waistline look a little bit smaller right here where she pops a little bit more. Hair was well placed though, because we can still see her delts. Probably want to push the hair back even more just so that it's not covering right here too much. But really well executed on the elbows. I'm going to point that out in a few of the Chicago Pro photos too when we pull those up. This was very well done right here. Just need some more fullness. Okay, the screen sharing is everything. I'm glad you guys like it. Like I said, I've been playing this all day, so I'm glad it worked because I was afraid it wasn't gonna work. I was like, I'm hyping this up and it may not even work. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing my best, but I'm doing all right here. Just a little bit lagged here trying to get through these photos. I'll get better as we do it. So hopefully you guys like it. Then we will go to Claire. So for those of you that are on IG, this is not possible for me to do on IG, but if you flip over to our YouTube channel, you can see it on our YouTube. All right, let's see. So we're pulling Claire up. Let me get a front shot of Claire. And here we go. Okay, let me share that. There we go. Okay, so with Claire, now being a redhead is always difficult on stage. That's the first thing. So she needs to get a little bit different tan going on here. Her tan is just a little bit greenish, which doesn't really pop on her. I'm not sure what kind of tanning product she used. This may have been a skin prep problem or something like that, but she needs to have more of that brown depth to her skin that would really help here. She's a little bit blocky through the waistline. So if I was her, I'd probably be working on vacuums a lot, just to pull that lower ab in as much as she can. And then pull up a little taller here through her upper body. That would help as well so that she could drop her shoulder down, look a little bit more relaxed, all of that. That would really help with her frame. There's just a few things here that would just be portrayed better if her posing was just a little bit better. Now, with the hair as well, I actually really like the hair color on her. She did a very good job of making it look very healthy and shiny. It was very sleek from the back. It was in the right spot, all of those kinds of things. So I'm good with that. She just has to be careful with the tan color when it comes to making sure that her tan doesn't look a little bit too greenish or a little bit too gray or whatever. So it was probably the tanning product, or maybe mixed with her skin prep, whatever it might have been. That's something I would be paying attention to try and make better, right? Okay, let's turn that one off and get up her back shot. Let's see. Now, something I'm going to pick on her about, and I won't share a picture of this, but she did the whole touching of the glutes thing when she went into her back pose. So please stop doing that. When you're transitioning in and out of your back pose, stop touching your hamstrings and glutes. Bottom line, stop touching your hamstrings and glutes. It's just not a good look. It's to me, it's too sexual, and the judges have said that too. So just be aware of that. Stop touching your hamstrings and glutes. All right, so back pose. Really well balanced back pose, except she needs to pull her elbows out just a touch more so that we see the difference in her lower back and her hair and her shoulders, right? That would make her look like she has a little bit better of an X frame there. I also felt like she was flexing her glutes or something strange there. She was making them flat. Now, if you go back and you look at the video that I just showed and everything too, when we get done with this and upload, you'll see her glutes looked a little bit flat. And I think it was because she was flexing them something weird that she was doing with her actual execution of her back pose. She has great glutes. You can see it here, but they were almost like 2-dimensional instead of 3-dimensional because of something she was doing with her actual back pose. So there's just some, again, little tweaks with her posing would really, really help her here, make her look a little bit more polished, a little bit more round, that kind of thing versus flat, if that makes sense. Yeah, she was definitely touching her glutes a lot, and she was the only one on stage doing that, which brought more attention to it, right? So, okay, there's that. Let's go to Pamela. Okay, so Pamela, let's pull up a front shot of her. She's another one that, oh, let me get a good one where she's actually got her eyes open. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, she's another one that could stand to use a few posing tweaks. She's standing too straight on. She needs to take her hip bone right here and twist it this way. Twist it this way. That would make her waistline be in quite a bit better. And she needs to balance these shoulders out. See how she kind of goes and dips down? She needs to drop this shoulder down so that she ends up being straight here on this angle. So she has a few little posing tweaks again here that need to be taken care of. Nice pop to her front pose though, nice and tight tummy, all of that. So I'd like to see her just be that waistline in just a little bit more there. And back shot. Here's a good back shot. Whoop. Sorry, hit the wrong button. My bad. I'm back. Flipping back and forth so much here. Sorry, guys. All right. There we go. Okay, so here's her back shot. Nice round glutes, just needs to be tighter. You can see she doesn't quite have that hamstring tie in here. I'd like to see a little bit more upper glute. If she had a little bit more upper glute here, that would make her waistline look smaller right here, right? Nice and balanced up here. This is good, right? We just need to see a little bit more outer glute. We need to see her tighter through the hamstring, okay? And that would be much better. But well executed pose. She did this pose probably as best that she could have. Just need to see a little bit more improvement on the glutes. All right. Let's go to, what did I just do? There we go. Angela. Okay. So we worked with Angela with her hair and makeup at this show. Let me pull up a front shot. There we go. Okay. Very well executed front pose. Nice and balanced, top to bottom. I'd like to see her a little bit more push here in that hip pelvic tilt, just so we can get that to pop up a little bit more. That would balance her with her shoulders and everything here too. But again, really well balanced front pose. And you can't tell here that her tan is too light. It's only when she actually gets next to the other competitors that you can see that she needs to be a little bit darker on her tan, which is the hard part, man. Like until you've done this a half dozen times or whatever, it's hard to know how your body's going to actually look underneath the lights. She just needs to be a little bit darker in order to really get that to pop for her. Let's go to her back shot. There we go. Okay. Again, really well executed on the back shot. Just needs to be a little bit tighter through the hamstrings here and needs some more upper and outer glute to pop that out a little bit. I mean, this is a really, really good really well balanced back pose. Just when you get next to the other competitors, that's where you see this. So if she was just standing by herself, this is a winning look. You know what I mean? But when you're next to the other girls, that's where you start splitting hairs, and the hairs are in the tightness in the hamstrings here and just some more upper and outer glute. She's actually very small to the waistline back here, but if we popped a little bit more extra glute, upper and outer glute on the back here, that would make this look even smaller. I've always been in awe of Angela's shape since CCTS. She looks great. She sure does. Absolutely. And again, remember, this is the 15 over, you guys. This is 15 over. This is like no joke, right? So, man, it's very inspiring to see all that at 15 over, right? Okay, let's go back to Michelle. Now, Michelle, I believe, I think Angela just mentioned that Michelle just won her pro card the day before, which would make sense because her presentation was just a little bit shaky. She looked like she was a little bit uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, as soon as she walked out on stage, I was like, damn, this chick looks good. I don't know where she came from, but she looks good. So very, very good physique. Very round, very full on stage. Now she is a bit lean. You can see it here in her arms and in her shoulders, everything like that. That's a little bit too grainy. You can see the graininess of her skin right here, which is why she probably was in second versus first. And then she's got a little bit of a lower ab distension. Not too bad, but a little bit. She's a little bit blocky through the waistline, which is why she took second versus first. But I mean, man, she looked phenomenal, specifically from the back, which I'll pull up her back pose as well. But yeah, really, really, really good look. And I mean, obviously just winning her pro card the day before, looked phenomenal here. So we got her back shot. When she turned around, when she was on stage, this is where I was like, damn. Let's see. There we go. I mean, you know, these are 50-year-old glutes, you guys. She looks so good. So good. Now, again, I think maybe she was a touch too lean. And that was probably why she was in second versus first. But man, she looked so good. These are phenomenal pro level glutes right here. So yes, really liked her back pose. Yep, insane. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely incredible look from the back. Plus this color suit and everything on her really popped on stage too. She did the red lip. I would probably have done more of a neutral lip. That was a little bit much for me with the blonde hair and everything, but whatever. Her glutes look great. Damn. Yeah, she does. She looks incredible, right? Oh my God, like crazy. She looks so good. And like I said, I mean, she's probably just a touch too lean, but to have that kind of fullness and roundness, it was a really, really good look. And again, what also, like, I'd never seen her before. So I was like, where did she come from, man? Like, where did she come from? Really, really good. So whoever you are, wherever you are out there, if you happen to watch this, you should be incredibly proud of yourself for this, because this is incredible. Right here, it's incredible. Let's go back again. to America. I think I know I'm pronouncing her name wrong. Is it? I don't know if it's. I know people just call her Mary, so I'm just gonna start saying Mary because I think that that's the easier way to do it. Now, so I met Mary for the first time. Like actually met her for the first time this weekend. Very very sweet, incredible look, and she's arguably one of the best, masters competitors in the world at this point, right? Um, I personally would like to see a little bit of a brighter suit color on her. I thought this was a little dark, but other than that, I mean, I think there wasn't a whole lot to critique here. She's nice and tight. She's full. She's round. She has all of the things that she needs to have. And that's why it's so hard to beat her. She's really well balanced from top to bottom. She's tight in her waistline, all of those kinds of things. I'm on the Stairmaster, hella inspired. This is so great. Good. I'm glad you like it. But yeah, she looked incredible. Oh, I thought I shared the screen. Sorry, guys. I see. I'm getting all ahead of myself here, thinking I shared it and I didn't. So let me get that up there for you. There you go. Okay, there we go. I'm sitting here talking about her, just not even on the screen. There we go. Okay, so yes, so she looks incredible. She wins pretty much every master show she goes into. It's very difficult to beat her. She just has that round fullness, and she never really is off. She always looks great. So her shape was fabulous in that front pose. I couldn't stop staring her. Yeah, and she's got great stage presence too, which definitely helps as well. So really polished look, really well executed on her physique and her posing. Looked very, very good. And she's just very hard to beat at this level. It's very, very hard to beat her. Let me pull up her back shot for you too, so you can see what I mean by the fullness and the roundness. There we go. This is a good one right here. There we go. Okay, so there's her back shot. So yeah, full round. I mean, this shine that you see here, that's the pop that we're talking about. And see how she has that upper and outer glute that pops here, makes her waistline look small from the back, right? And then she's got that tightness through her hamstrings, but it's not too tight. She's not seeing any graininess or anything like that in here. You're just seeing full tightness through here. That is very difficult to achieve. Very, very difficult to achieve. That girl bad. Yeah, she is. She absolutely is. Absolutely is. So this is a phenomenal back shot. It really is. Her posing is great too. There's nothing wrong with her posing either. I mean, honestly, if she was I don't know if she could really improve on this, to be perfectly frank with you. Like, this is about as full as she wants to get. You don't want to get any bigger than this. It's really well balanced with her delts up here at the top. So really the only critique that I have for her in this whole thing is maybe go with a brighter suit color, something that pops a little bit more. I felt like her suit color didn't really pop. So I'd like to see her go a little bit brighter with something a little bit brighter that pops off her skin. She's got that dark hair, dark skin tone, all of that. So a little bit brighter would be good. That's about it. Even that's not a problem. That's just a critique. If I can give her something to critique her on, Okay, so that was our 50 and over. So now I'm going to pull up our 40 and over. And before I do that, let me get the video up. Give me just a second to pull that up. It's 50 and over. Here we go. This is 40 and over. Okay. That's our 40 and over, right? Yep. Okay. Okay, here's our 40 and over first call out. So there you go. You see America in the middle here again. It took second. This girl right here is the one that took second, third, fourth. And I don't know after that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I will pull up the NPC News pictures and pull them up as well. Obviously, this girl right here is a little bit more slight in frame versus Mary, but really, like, look, you can see her back shot right here. She has a really, really good back shot right there. This girl I was really impressed with. I'm going to talk about her a little bit when I pull up her photos and talk a little bit about what she did during the first looks. First looks is when they come out prior to their individual posing routines. I'm going to talk a little bit about what she did, so remember that. And I'll show you why once I show you her photos. We see a lot of blondes and red, right? A lot of blondes and red here. So this girl right here, I met in person for the first time at Masters Nationals. Tall chick. I felt like I had to look up because I had flats on, she had on heels. But really, really good package here. I'll talk about her a little bit because I believe she took fifth. I believe she took fifth here. Angela's here in the first call out as well. But this was a big call out. It was eight people in first call out for this is 40 and over, guys. This is 40 and over. 40 and over, remember, right? Some of these ladies here have the ability to be doing well in open, right? Okay, so that was first call out for 40 and over. Now, some of these ladies are repeats, so I'm going to go through some of the ones that we did not talk about. So here we go. Olga. I'm going to close this and open it again so I can open up their actual individual shots. Give me just a second here. Jill. Okay. All right. Now you have to look up to someone. I know, right? I know. I rarely have to look up to somebody. I'm telling you. It's very rare. Okay, so here is Jill. 40 and over Jill, fifth place. All I would really say here is front pose, she needs to tilt her pelvis back a little bit more. See how she's pushing forward a little bit on this rib cage or hip bone, so it's pushing forward a little bit too much. If we push back, that will get rid of any kind of skin wrinkling right here, and it will also make her waistline look smaller. She's just pushed forward a little bit too much right here in this front pose. But beautiful look. This was a really good choice as far as Stu is concerned. She's very well balanced, nice frame to the top here. And again, she would look even better balanced if she was to push her hip bone back just a touch here. And then back close up. That's a good one right there. Okay. Back pose. Now, I mentioned to her she needed to go just a touch wider on her feet. Now, here in this back pose like this, it looks like she's in a good position, but because she's so tall and when she's standing next to the other ladies on stage, she actually looks like her feet are a little bit too close. So when I say just a touch, I actually mean just the balls of her feet. Her heels can stay where they are. If she takes the balls of her feet and pulls them out about a ½ inch on either side, that's going to put her into a better balance. And it's also going to help her pop her glutes up a little bit more. Because as you can see here, she looks a little bit dominant through her shoulders. So if she pulled those toes out, that would help to pop those glutes. She needs to tilt up a little bit more in that back pose, just like we talked about in the front pose, pelvic tilt. She needs to push back a little bit more. That's going to pop those glutes, pop that outer top of her glute right here, and just make her look better balanced. And it's going to tighten her up through here. She looked a little bit soft through the hamstring. She wasn't, but it was just her pose. She just needs to push up a little bit more. That would better suit her as far as this back pose is concerned and put her into a better balance right here. So that would be my critique for her. Okay. Let's go to Olga. Now, those of you that are on Instagram right now, if you haven't done so already, I'm screen sharing over on YouTube. So go check out the screen share over on YouTube. It's better. It's better. Okay, so I missed this girl's name. Hold on. Was it Olga? Olga's the one that I just mentioned. She did something very good during first looks, and I'm going to show you what that was. Okay, so this is Olga. She was in fourth. Beautiful girl, beautiful look. Her tan is perfect, all of that. When you look at her, though, you can tell she's short-waisted, so she looks thick through her waistline, right? Now, she did this pose for her individual, and she did it during comparisons because you have to. You're next to everybody else. But when they brought them out for first looks, When they brought them out, first looks is when they just bring you out in groups of 8 or whatever, turn you front, back, front, take you off. This is before comparisons. This is before you do your individuals. During that time, she did the kickback position, what I call the alternate pose, where you're in that front pose and then you step back to that back foot before you turn into your glute push and then into your back pose. She pushed back. What that did for her, and I noticed this because she was the only one in the line doing it, but what that did for her is that V'd her waistline in on that first look. So it made her waistline look longer and it made it look smaller, which she needed for her frame. You can see by looking at her front pose right here. She needs that for her frame. That was so smart. I couldn't understand why she was posing like that in those first looks. And I wish I had videoed of it, but I didn't. But anyway, but that was really, really smart because that was the first time the judges saw her. And I'm sure they sat there and they wrote down her competitor number because she looked really good. That was a very good pose for her. And then she was smart from that point on and did the poses that everybody else did, right? So I don't know this girl, but that whoever told her to do that, whoever told her to pose like that, that was a really good move for her and her frame. So you gotta play to your shape and play to your strengths, and she did a very, very good job with that. Because you can see when she's in this front pose, she is a little bit thick, and the only reason why she's a little bit thick to the waist is because she's short through the waist. Her waist is short, so the way that she posed in that first look, that was good. That was really, really good. So when you turn her to the back, go nice and full and round through that back pose. That is a really good back shot. Really, really good back shot. She's tight. She's round. She's got that pop, that 3D pop. See that sheen, that gloss on her glutes? That's that pop we're talking about right there. Really good pop right there. Nice and tight through the hamstring. She has a little bit too much glaze on her calves. I will say that. She was a little bit too shiny here. A little bit too shiny here, a little bit too shiny here. But on the glutes, it was good. So get the glaze on the glutes and you're good. Just keep it off all these other parts. We don't need all that there. But you can see even from this back shot that she's short-waisted and she's thick. So the way she poses is very, very important on her and on her frame. The way she's got her suit sitting up this high and dipping down that low, that's smart for her frame. That shows off her frame. You can't change your genetics. You can't change what you were born with, but you can create an illusion, which she did a very, very good job of creating that illusion here, right? So I just wanted to give her props for that because I thought that was a very, very good strategic move on their part. So let's go back. Now the next one is Abby. So Abby took third. Let me share her. There we go. So you can tell Abby's a little bit on the thinner side, right? So, but she still has a great frame, beautiful look, beautiful smile, all of that. I would like to see her open up this pose more. Her pose was very straight up and down. And again, when you go back and you look at the comparison video that I put up earlier, you can tell she just looks a little bit straight up and down. I'd like to see her open up her stance a little bit more, open up her upper body towards the judges a little bit more. That would give her more shape. She's got a tiny little waistline. She needs to show it off. In order to show off a tiny waistline, you got to open up your frame more. Open up your upper body, open up your lower body. Twist open. That's what I would do here. That would really show her off a lot better. And the other thing is when you look back at that video too, you might as well just pull it up. I've got it sitting right here. Let me pull it up. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up and show you what I mean. Let me get to a good spot in the video and show you what I'm talking about. And then I'll pull that up for you. Let me pull her to the back. There we go. 1 second here, guys. Okay. So right there. Okay, cool. When I get up her back pose, I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, so here's her back pose. And here she looks good, right? She needs to be a little bit tighter through the back. She doesn't have quite as much pop as some of these other girls we were just talking about. And again, she looks broader across the top than she does down here. And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with this pose. By herself, this is a good pose. This is a good pose by herself, right? But let me show you something. Well, if I can get it to come up. There we go. Okay, this is her right here in the red. Well, it decided to, let me pull this up. There we go. Okay, this is her in the red right here. Now you can see looking at her frame, look at where her shoulders are in comparison to everybody else's shoulders. She's short through the top part of her body, so her legs are super long, right? So she needs to push a little bit more, needs to open up just a little bit more because she's got that very long leg. Now in the back pose, it's not bad. In the back pose is not bad, but it really is noticeable in the front pose how short her upper body is in comparison to her legs. She's got long legs, right? She's got long legs. So she's got to adjust that pose just a little bit in order to really showcase her frame at its best. So here she is. Here she is right here. You can see how short her upper body is in comparison to her legs. Look at where her hip bones are. Hip bone. This girl's taller through the upper body. This girl's shorter through the upper body. You can see all that. So it's when you get next to other people that these poses show up, right? These poses show up. Not a bad pose, but she just needs to open it up a little bit more so that she can show her frame a little bit better, right? Let's go to next one. Which is Christy. Christy took second. And this was the girl that I was just talking about that was next to Mary. So let me pull her up. How are we doing, guys? Still with me here? I know it's turning into a long one now that we're sharing the screen, right? Oh, goodness. I got to figure out how to shorten these, I guess. Okay, so this is a girl, again, over 40. When you look at her, to be perfectly honest with you, she looks like an open competitor. In the face, her body, she looks like she's an open competitor. She could stand to put on a little bit more size. You can see she's got a little bit of rib cage showing up right here. But she could definitely stand to put on a little bit more size. That would help her here. But overall, really nice. We could see this lower ab is a little bit distended, so probably work on some vacuums and things like that here. Maybe just push a little bit harder. Just overall, just needs to have a little bit more size on her frame in order to do better, like in the open category. Obviously, she did well here in 40 and over. There's nothing wrong with her frame here or anything like that, but I think she could actually do pretty decent in open too. Love the screen share. Good. Love the new format. Good. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. And then if we look at the back pose. Go. So there's a few things with this back pose that I would probably change. A, her hair is a little bit too long. B, her suit bottom needs to come down and cover this, like we're seeing it go up too high. I'm not sure if this is that teeny tiny little cut that I'm not a fan of, but it sure looks like it here. She needs to cut off about this much of her hair right here, so we can see her lower back. Great glutes. She has great glutes. But this bikini bottom needs to come down just a little bit more here. Cover that up a little bit more. Back pose itself is very good. Great where she's got her elbows, all of that. Just needs to bring this hair in a little bit, needs to trim it just a little bit, and that would show her off a little bit better. She's kind of getting overwhelmed by her hair a little bit here. She's not a big girl. She's a slight girl. So she needs to kind of pull that hair in a little bit. I would probably trim off all of this, trim off all that, just so that it doesn't get in the way and it shows off her shape a little bit better. But she's got great pop to her glutes here. She's got a great upper shelf, and I just hate that her hair's covering all that. You know what I mean? So fix the hair, bring it in a little bit better, pull that suit bottom down, maybe get a little bit more coverage or something, a little bit smaller through the crotch area so it comes down a little bit more, and you're good to go. All right, so that's our Master's World, ladies. And then I wanted to just touch on wellness just a second, because the girl that won 40 and over also won 35 and over. Wellness was very small at this show. So I just wanted to bring up her photos real quick, and then we'll move on to Chicago. Kimberly, here she is. Pull up Kimberly. Here's a good front shot. All right, this is Kimberly. She won both 45 and 35, or I'm sorry, 40 and 35. Actually, really, really good wellness frame. Really, really good wellness frame. You can see she's got the bigger glutes, bigger quads, waistline's tight, all of that. More muscle than Bikini, but not as big through the upper body as Figure. This is actually a really good representation of wellness right here. Let's go to her back shot. And pretty good here in the back shot too. What I would do, I actually believe that she could be competitive and open as well. She just needs to grow a little bit more glutes and legs in general. Like here, that inner hamstring, outer quad, just another layer of muscle on top of this. And this is actually a frame I think could be very competitive and open. This is great conditioning. I like the conditioning that she's at right here. All of this is really good for wellness, actually. So the fact that she won both categories, I think she could actually do well in open as well. She just needs to add a little bit more size in the back. That's what I would do. That's what I would do if I was her, but actually very well balanced with her conditioning. I thought it was a really good look for wellness in general. Okay, that's Masters. So as I'm pulling up Chicago, tell me if you guys got any questions from that. And I'm going to go right into wellness for Chicago. And again, I'm just going to talk about the top two. We did our preview, and I don't think Isa Maria was on the initial list for this show, but she did end up winning this show. She just won, was it Atlanta? Whatever it was, the week before as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just share this screen. We're not going to go into too much detail here because she's won 2 shows now at this point. So I think she's actually a pretty good representation of wellness. Not surprised that she won. As you can see, we just had the Masters winner up for 35 and over and 40 and over. And actually that girl had a little bit more muscle than this girl does from the front, right? From the front, this girl is a little bit smaller. Isa Maria, let me see if I can find her back. The problem is when I click on the photos, it opens up a new window and it won't let me actually share it. I have to close it out and put it back up. So that's why I've been doing that each time. So let me see if we can get a decent look. So here's her back shot right here. You know what? We have comparison shot. No, those are going to be too small too if I go through all those. From the back, you can see the difference right here in her back shot versus the 35 and over, 40 and over wellness winner. So this is where the size makes a difference. This is the size right here that the girl in the Masters division needs to pull up. So let me go ahead and pull that up while we're here. Might as well. Come this far, I might as well show all of it, right? Let's see. There we go. There you go. So you can see how much bigger she is in the glutes versus the girl that we were just talking about, and the legs, everything. Everything's bigger here on her than we saw from the girl at the Masters World. So that's where the attention needs to be focused for the girl for the Masters World Championships in order to be competitive and open, if that makes sense. We can see the conditioning level is relatively similar, right? It's relatively similar. So really good look here with this Isa Maria, though. Let me grab. And then who I predicted to win was Jasmine. Is that what her name was? Yeah, Jasmine, who came in second. Jasmine has a great look. She's just a little bit thick. She needs to bring her waistline in a little. You'll really be able to see that with this picture I'm about to show. I think for me, that's where I end up putting her in second versus other girls is the waistline. She needs to work on pulling that waistline in. It's just a lot. It's a lot right here, right? Her frame, if she could pull this waistline in and pop this out a little bit more, that would be perfect, right? But this just makes her look big, like not in a bad way, but like big, like muscular, very muscular, very, very big in general. So the waistline for me is what needs to come in. And I know that's hard to do without building out everything else, like to change those ratios and things like that. I understand it's difficult to do, but I might take some time. And she's a little bit soft too. Like when you look at comparison shots, she was a little bit soft in comparison to the other girls, specifically through the waistline. Again, you see that. From the back, she's fine, but it's just the waistline, you see it. So the waistline for me is what is putting her in the second place positions versus winning shows, right? Let me pull up a back shot of her too, since we're here. We might as well do all of it since we're here, like I said. Find a back shot. Those of you on Instagram, if you pop on over to YouTube, I am screen sharing over on YouTube. So that's why we got everybody over on YouTube today. We'll be doing this from now on. So there we go. Okay. So when you look at her back shot here, you can see just how much muscle she has. She's one of the bigger girls on stage. She's got some quads on her, man. So, in order for her to I would just say she just needs to kind of streamline her physique a little bit. And most of it's coming from this waistline. If she could just bring this waistline in, I would even say she could trim down everything just a little bit in order to bring it in a little bit more streamlined. When you look at her next to the girl that beat her, Issa Maria, or whatever her name was, I just said it wrong. I know I did. The other girl is much smaller than Jasmine is, right? Just overall much smaller. She's got great pop to her muscle bellies, all of that stuff, but she's just thick, and she needs to bring that streamlined look in a little bit better for her. That would be my suggestion, my critique. All right, let's move on to Bikini here at Chicago. We're going to start with fifth and move our way up. Now, before we start talking about all this stuff too, people were really confused by the call outs and how they were doing them, because the ending call out, it was first call out was all of like Jasmine and Jessica in the center like the whole time, and then the girls on the outside. And then the final confirmation call out put Jessica and Jasmine off to the side, and three girls over here that ended up being your third through fifth, right? So Becky was head judge, and Becky has said this before, when she won her pro card at nationals, they knew she was going to be first place. So they took her and moved her off to the outside of the call out, right? Moved her off to the outside of the call out and then judged everybody else. So after watching a little bit of the call outs, things like that, I believe that's what they were doing. They put Jasmine and Jessica off to the side. They knew that was the top two. And then they had their 3 through 5th down the line, comparing them to make sure that they had those placings correct. And how the actual call out ended up was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they ended up putting them in the order of placings. So my point in saying that and explaining that is, just because you get put into the center of a class doesn't mean you're going to win it, right? So just be aware of that. Be aware of the fact that it doesn't matter where you are placed on stage. That does not dictate your placing. It does not dictate your placing. It can give you an idea of where you might be, but it does not mean, like, if you're on the right side of the split center, that you're going to be first or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There is no placing where you are set on stage, because it is a panel of judges and they all have their own opinion, and it's a matter of how all of those scores get put together. And you could be on the outside of center and end up winning. If it's really a tight show and you all get split up like that, the points could go any which way, right? That wellness girl looked like she do well in bodybuilding with her muscle fullness and maturity. She's not bodybuilding because she's not lean enough and conditioned enough. She just needs to streamline her physique. She needs to streamline her physique. That's the main thing. Shape. You got to remember shape. Shape matters. Shape counts. So, let's see. And no, her tan wasn't off. I think it's just the lighting of the show. So her glutes weren't light. I think it was just the lighting of the show. So let's look at 5th place. We have Vanya in 5th place. This is the first time Vanya's been on stage in a little bit. She did switch coaches. Pull up her pictures right now. There we go. So she did switch coaches. She is now with Kimoto Body Bio. And she looks quite a bit more streamlined than she was. She looks like she came down a bit all over. Like her whole body looks like it's a little bit more streamlined. I would say that her critique was probably the same as what it has been, that she just needs to get a little bit tighter in the glutes, I'm guessing, because, again, she looks streamlined. This looks like, to me, if somebody hadn't told me or if I hadn't noticed that she had switched coaches, I would say, did she switch coaches? Because her look is very different here at this show versus what she looked like before. She does look like she's just kind of streamlined everything and brought it down a little bit, which I'm guessing she was probably getting that feedback of, you need to do that. You know what I mean? I really do like this hair look on her. I think it's very pretty and soft. I like that a lot. The lighting in these photos is beautiful, but I can't really tell how much the suit popped off her skin or how much it didn't. Again, I'd like to see some more video and some more live stream stuff, but I just haven't seen a whole lot of video. So I can't give any comments on that. But to me, she just looks like she's well streamlined versus the last time she was on stage. Let me find a back shot. Here we go. Okay, so from the back, again, she's got great pop to her glutes and everything, but she just looks like she still just needs to bring that hamstring tie in just a little bit tighter to me. That's what it looks like. Also, this is what I was going to mention about the elbows. The elbows are out too far. She needs to pull those elbows in like an inch on either side. That would help her delts pop from the back, and I think that would actually help to balance her because she does have that fullness in the glutes. I want to see more fullness in her delts. And when you pull those elbows out like that, that removes that fullness. So keep the hands where they are, but just pull the elbows in just an inch, and that would help, right? She does look like she's pushing off to one side a little bit in that pose too, but I think that's probably from her front pose because that's her front side on that pose. So like I tell you guys all the time, you got to be posing on both sides so that your back pose ends up even. Right? She looks like she's kind of favoring that one side because that's the side that she favors when she's on her front pose. So that would be my critique in her back pose. I think from the front, she's looking really good. She's looking more balanced. She's getting streamlined, all of that kind of stuff. I don't know what her critiques were, but I'm guessing they probably said she needed to be a little bit tighter. That's what I'm guessing. So let's move on. This is a long live stream, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. I appreciate it. My dogs are even barking at me. They're like, are you done yet? It's dinner time. Okay, so 4th place was Amy. Now, this is the first top 5 placing I believe Amy got. Now, she was not, I believe, she was not in the initial first call out, but she got added because they missed her. So really good shape here, really good frame. First thing that pops out at me when I look at this front shot is that her glutes are overpowering. So it's one of two things. And again, I'd like to see more comparisons next to each other. She either needs to grow through her shoulders or she needs to bring her glutes down a little bit. It's one of the two to balance her frame out a little bit. But I mean, her waistline is like this. Her waistline is teeny tiny, right? So I would just say that she just needs to balance from top to bottom a little bit better. And again, if I saw more comparison shots, then I would know if it's more of a bring the glutes down or bring the shoulders up. But just balance the frame out a little. Well conditioned though, well balanced from top to bottom as far as the conditioning is concerned. Just size wise, she needs to balance out a little bit. Go to her back pose. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog or not, but she's getting mad at me already. So I'm gonna hopefully you guys can't hear her barking. She's like, it's dinner time. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. All right. So here's her back shot. So again, when you look at her back shot, oh, there she is. She's on. Hello, what's up? So when you look at her back shot, she's well conditioned, well balanced in the conditioning. Again, the well balanced and the conditioning thing is important. She's nice and tight through the hamstrings. This is what Vanya was kind of missing right here, and she's got that. So that's nice here. So again, looking at this shot, it's just, she's just a little bit unbalanced from top to bottom when it comes to the shoulders to the glutes. So again, it would be one of those things where she's either got to bring her shoulders up or bring her glutes down just a touch, just a little bit to balance her frame out a little bit. Now, Amy's on here right now. So if you wanted to type in and say what your feedback was, that would be great. But I'm just saying what I see. So, but this is a really, really good package. Just needs to balance the frame a little. Again, tiny, tiny waistline from the back. So that's phenomenal. But I just like to see one of the two. One of the two. Either this come up or this come down. One of those two. So, but again, conditioning is very good. Conditioning is well balanced top to bottom, which is important. Let's see. Let's go on to Jordan. So Jordan, we've been talked about her quite a few times the last few weeks because she's been getting those top fives. Again, relatively new pro. And let me share her front shot here. Dog's getting loud. She's getting mad at me right now, guys. See, they said change nothing but get higher hip connectors to give illusion of longer legs. Oh, okay. All right. That was not what my feedback was. But again, I haven't seen any comparison stuff. It's really like, I always use the caveat here when I haven't watched comparisons. Like I was showing you with Masters Worlds and stuff, you can see the difference of how individually they look good, but it's when you put them next to each other that you see the places where things need to be fixed. So when I don't see comparison shots, take everything I say with a grain of salt because I don't know what they look like next to each other, right? So I'm going by what I see in the individual pictures, and that's all I got. That's all I have here. So judges definitely know better than I do, right? Okay, so with Jordan here, I know her critiques in the past have been she's a little bit muscular through the legs. This looks like she's streamlined a little bit. Again, another little bit of a streamline, which is good. To me, she's not as glossy as she was the last show. Again, that was something that I pointed out the last show. She had too much glaze on. I don't see that here. I think she's doing good here. I do see a little bit of tan splotching. Now, again, this could be lighting, but it looks like the tan is a little bit splotchy. That, again, could be lighting, but I think she's just got a little bit of an unevenness to the tan. Overall, this is really good shape, though. Maybe a little, I mean, the shoulder looks good. Maybe a little bit more pop to the shoulder, maybe to balance her a little bit. But again, this looks pretty good to me from the front. Let's see. Yeah, to me, the shoulder just looks like it could pop a little bit more to balance her a little bit better. I don't want to pull up some of these pictures are really like very close up glute shots. Oh, here we go. I got one that's not close up. They're like a little bit too close on some of these glute shots, y'all. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so here's a good glute shot. Okay. So yeah, to me, again, I think that the tan is just a little splotchy, and you can kind of see right here where we're seeing a little bit of tan issue. I'm seeing a little bit of tan issue. Again, this could be just the lighting, but I did notice that when I was scrolling through her photos, I felt like there was a little bit of splotchiness to her tan. But I like to see her a little bit tighter through here. Like I pointed out in a few of these girls, just a little bit tighter. Overall, this is a really good shot, though. And see how she's got her elbows in? That's what I was talking about here. Vanya needs to do the same thing. She needs to pull her elbows in. You see how her delts pop up at the top? That's what you want to see right there. So I actually think she's really well balanced top to bottom. And maybe she just needs to pull up her upper glute just a little. and that might help with that tightness through here. But again, I'm looking at photos that are individual shots and not comparisons, so I could be wrong. And I haven't seen comparisons because I didn't see the live stream, so I could be wrong on that. The stage is a little off with bumps, so I could definitely pose better and call outs. Okay, yeah, that's always hard when you're tripping on like the seams and things like that, you know. But overall, I think this is a really good look. Just maybe a little tighter, maybe a little bit more pop in the glutes. I don't know. But I like that pose. That's a good pose. Let's go back to Jasmine in second. So this was definitely a massively improved Jasmine from her last show because she was not having any issues with her period or anything like that. So it was really good. I'm trying to find a good front shot. A lot of these are really close up again. There we go. I got one. Okay. There we go. All right. So very well balanced on the front shot. That was something that she was really striving for. Brought her legs down nicely, nice and tight through the waistline. Shoulders look nice. Like again, she's just very well balanced from top to bottom, nice and tight. Changed up her makeup look a little bit. Normally she goes a little bit darker on the lips. She went more neutral here. I like it. I think it came off very, very well. Overall, again, very good front pose. All the little tweaks and stuff like that we've been making over the shows. I think she executed very, very well here. And I have to say, this is probably my favorite look that I've seen on her, like, period, like in general. This was my favorite look. So she did a very, very good job here. Let's pull up her back shot. Let's see. No, that's not posed. So again, some of these fully posed shots are like way close up. So I don't want to share those on the screen share. It's just too much. And it doesn't show the full pose either. So I don't have one that's where she's really fully posed in her back shot. So I'm going to have to show you one that's close up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to do it. Oh, yeah. None of them are. Okay. Okay. Get ready, guys. Sorry. Okay. Like I said, really close up. Sorry. But nice pop through the glutes. You can see she's nice and tight through the hamstrings. So I talk about that tightness to the hamstrings here. Everything is full, nice and round and full where she needs to be, all of that. I'm wondering if there's any here that are zoomed out. I don't think they are. She starts moving. Yeah, she starts moving, then they start zooming out on her. So these are all close up. And the ones that are zoomed out, she's not fully posed. So it kind of shows she's nice and tight through here. You know, the last show she had a lot of jiggle going on in her legs and stuff because of holding water, and she's not anymore, which is nice right here. Oop. That's that. Oh, hey, what's up? So those of you that are logging on Instagram, I'm actually on my YouTube channel with sharing a screen and going through photos. So if you're not on YouTube, you can try getting over on my YouTube channel. I've got a screen share up on there. So everybody's saying hi over on Instagram. So just letting you know I've got a screen share up on YouTube for you. But yeah, so Jasmine did a very, very good job here. As you can see, she got a little bit of length into her hair, which definitely helped with her back, like bringing that illusion in and bringing everything in. You can still see her delts, but it covers up a little bit of that muscularity in her back, which is good. That needed to happen in order to keep our eyes focused on the lower back and the glutes. There's just enough back there on the extensions for her. So that was a really good call. Really good call in that scenario. So I think it's just a matter of time for her to come back and win a show, because to me, this was, again, the best look I've seen on her. So we are going to go to Jessica. We're almost there. We are almost there. Jazzy was my dark horse pick. I knew she was going to crush it. She did. She crushed it. She looked phenomenal. And it's just a matter of time. I really think that the next show or the next one of the two next ones she's gonna do, she's gonna win it. She's gonna take home that win. So, but that said, Jessica did win it, and Jessica looked phenomenal. Let me find a front shot to share of her. There we go. And Jessica's just getting better too. I just love when these competitors, they take their feedback and they run with it and roll with it. All right, here we go. We got Jessica, who won this show. Now, I've said this, I don't know how many times, but I think she has one of the most balanced and aesthetically pleasing front poses in the entire Bikini Pro League. She's so well balanced from top to bottom. What I tell girls to do when they're doing posing is to take a ruler and line it up so that it goes on and it hits the outside of your delt, comes down, it should hit the outside of your glute. If it does that, you're in perfect proportion. And she is literally in perfect proportion right there. And then that V into her waistline is just phenomenal. So she's nice and tight. She's full everywhere as well. If I had any critique on this front shot, I would say maybe a little bit fuller through the shoulders because you can start to see some striations coming in a little bit there. But that's very minute, very, very minimal detail because she overall is very, very well balanced. There's not a whole lot that I would change about her front pose. I think her front pose is, like I said, about as perfect as you can get. I've always said I think she's got the perfect front pose, and then Ashley Kay has the perfect back pose. So if I could just put the two of them together, that would be your perfect bikini competitor right there. That would be your perfect bikini competitor. Let's pull up her back shot. I think she does have ones that are zoomed out. Yes, she does. There we go. Okay, so her critique is always that she just needs more glutes. She needs more glutes, blah, 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 that kind of thing. Here, she looks really good. Now, I talked to her a little bit this past week, and we were talking about how she's going to try and amend her suit a little bit so that it can be a little bit smaller, that kind of thing. And again, I haven't seen comparison shots, but to me, this does look like it's a touch smaller, which I think she needs because of her frame. I'm not one of those people that is like, you need to get a thong, but with her, in order to get her glutes to really show and really present well, she does need about as tiny as you can go. She's nice and tight through those hamstrings. Again, those tie-ins are perfect. Conditioning from the back is perfect. She's full, she's round. Her left elbow needs to come in a little bit. Her right elbow is perfect. I think this is just from her like residual from her front pose, like I was talking about before. We're talking about tilting in the back pose a little bit. So this is her elbow here that needs to come in and touch. But look at how round and full her delts are. That's perfect. Again, this is the fullness that we're looking for her glutes and her shoulders. So really, really good look here from the back. And even with her hair, like I'm okay with her hair being this long because we see that lightness from her bikini bottom right here that gives you that illusion of the smaller waist right here. So love being able to see this review. Thank you. Yes, it took me a little while, but hey, I got it going. And like, again, this is a really long live feed, but I hope it was worth it. So yeah, so she was our winner here for Chicago. So she did qualify for the Olympia. So that gives us a new qualified athlete for the Olympia, which is awesome. So that's it for tonight. An hour and 18 minutes into it. Sorry, guys. I hope it was helpful, though. Like, I'm looking at the view count. It looks like everybody stuck with me. So I appreciate you all staying on, and I hope that this was helpful. What did you guys think? Do you think the screen sharing is a good thing? Any critiques for the Masters girls specifically? I gave all those critiques. You're gonna have to go back and watch it. I did all the Masters 50 and over. I did 6 through first. I've been talking for an hour and 18 minutes at this point, you guys. I started with Masters. I started with Masters World is where I started. So yes, please go keep this going, worth the time. Good. Well, the way I figure it is I go to these shows and I have a ton of footage that just sits on my phone. So I feel like the more that we do this, the better I will be getting at getting this stuff out. So you guys can actually see it. It's great to see as you talk about it. Well, thank you. We did not talk about over 60 because there's only a few competitors. So we talked about over 50 and over 40. Talked about wellness, talked about all that. So any other questions, comments, anything? I'll let this go for another minute or two, and then I'm gonna end it out because we are already at 9:30, and this is a long one, you guys. Yes, screen share is awesome. So again, I hope this all saves great for YouTube, so you guys can go back and watch it again. I think this will be helpful going forward, and you can always go back to it as well. And we'll. I realize this took a whole lot longer than normal, so I'll break it down so I'm doing each show by itself when we do wrap ups, so that we're not on here for an hour and a half at a time. We'll do like mini segments, so we'll go on separate days, that kind of thing. So it'll get better as we go. I'm just glad it worked. I'm just glad it worked because I was testing it. I literally have been messing around with it all day. So I'm just glad that it worked more than anything else. So when you watch it again to reabsorb things you've said. Good. So I think it went pretty well. This is what I literally do when I'm sitting here on my computer talking to you guys, but now at least you guys can see it too. So like I said, now I got video and I can show you guys video during live streams too that I get at shows, and hopefully that helps too. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it out because I got to eat too. My dogs are mad up there. They've been barking. They need their dinner, and I need my dinner too. And I still have posting critiques to give out as well. So I'm getting everything caught up for the weekend. For those of you that are competing this coming weekend at Clash of the Titans, I will have makeup and hair schedules sent out this evening. So you'll have those. And we're off to the races. It's already almost Wednesday, believe it or not. So hope you guys had a great weekend. It was a long one for us, but it was definitely well worth it. Super proud of our new pros. And here we go. We got more shows coming up. So I'll be back. I'll be back again on live tomorrow. So I'll see you guys back on live. We'll do some more screen sharing. How's that? All right. Like I said, you got to get subscribed to our YouTube channel now, right? I told you it'd be worth it. All right, so I'm going to end out on Instagram first because I know how that one works, and then I'll end out on YouTube here. If you want to work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits, and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. Have a great night. All right, we'll go out from Instagram. There we go. And out from YouTube.